Brother, what are you saying? So, you've returned back to the AK Jake YouTube channel for another video. I can't blame you. And today, we're talking about women, about females. So, you see a lot online about people who can't pull, overcomplicate pulling, overcomplicate what it takes to be able to be successful with women. You see people say like things like, "Oh, if you aren't 6 foot plus, jacked, good looking, rich, etc., 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 that you can't be successful with women." And I am here to tell you, brother, that this just isn't true. Like, don't get me wrong, that stuff helps, but it's not. It's not do or die. It's not essential, right? And you might be sat there thinking, "Oh, but what do you know about women, right? Who's this, Mr. Top Shagger over here?" But I actually have a lot of experience with going out and trying to pull women, whether that's successfully or unsuccessfully, right? So since I was 18, I went to uni. I went to uni in the UK. I went to a city, and obviously, you know what goes on at uni. There's a lot of trying to get girls, especially at that age. Um, and I lived in that city for 5 years. Okay, and in that time, I was successful with women. I was unsuccessful with women. Sorry, I had my fair share of girlfriends. I was thrown headfirst into the trenches, and I've come out of it all right. And I've also come out of it with things to take into try to get women, things that worked for me and things that didn't work for me. And I've put together a little list that I've seen um, common things that people do, and some of it might be obvious, some of it might not be, but this stuff, I feel like if you master this list and you can make a positive change towards your life and put yourself in the direction of all the things on this list, then you will be successful with women, or at least start to get more girls, whether you are 7 foot tall or 3 foot tall. Maybe not 3 foot tall, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Um, Firstly, the fact that you're watching this means you aren't getting girls, bro. But that's okay, because that can change. So how do you do that? Well, you need to improve two areas: the outside and the inside. And we'll start on the inside because that's the one that probably raises more eyebrows when I say it, right? And when I say inside, I don't mean realigning your stomach acids or any of that fucking stupid stuff. When I say inside, I mean three things really. I mean your chat, your confidence, and your aura. So when it comes to chat, you need to be able to chat to girls. You can look as pretty as you want, but if you have no personality, you're dry as a bone, then they aren't going to want to talk to you, right? They'll realise that in the first 10, 20 seconds. If you're awkward and you don't know what to say to them, they'll move on. So you need to improve your social skills. You need to learn how to speak to people, and most importantly, you need to learn how to make jokes and have banter, because this is what will get you pulling. This banter and learning how to have the right banter at the right times is essential for being able to take things from friendly to romantic with a girl. So the most important thing that you might take away from this video is learning how to have banter, learning how to flirt, and learning how to speak to women. So that's the most important thing. If you take anything away from this video, take that away, that you need to go out and learn how to do that. Secondly, is confidence. So whether you have it or not, you need to speak with confidence. You need to say things with chest, because this isn't even specific to women. It's just human nature. Like, let's do a couple of examples, right? A bit of role play. Say I'm going up to you in a bar, and I'm asking, I don't know, I would never do this, but just say, "Oh, how's your day?" So there's two. Let's do two examples, right? Someone who's confident, someone who's not. So person A goes up, and they're moving awkward, and they go, "Oh, hi, how's your day today going?" And then person B comes up, he's a big boy, he's a jacked, he's a chad, he's an alpha, and he comes up and he's like, "Oh then, all right, how's your day going?" Like, and don't get me wrong, I understand what I sound like, and I would never say that firstly, but I understand that wouldn't have many people falling on the knees for me. But what I do understand is that person B sounded better than person A, and it's that simple. And imagine if you're that person A going up to women, they're just gonna think, "Who's this? Who are you? What little rock have you crawled out from under?" Right? And they aren't gonna want to speak to you. So, confidence is key. And if you say things with confidence, paired up with having banter, having chat, learning how to speak to people, you're onto a winner. And not just with women, with everybody in life, right? And the first thing is aura. Now, the word aura in modern day, I feel like it's turned into a bit of a buzzword, and people get confused as to what does it actually mean? Like yeah, aura this, aura that. It's a joke and it's a meme online, but what does having aura actually means? Well, you need to move with aura. So if somebody walks into a room and they have aura, how would you describe them, right? Or more specifically to the situation, if a girl's talking to you and they feel your aura, they feel your presence, then that would count as you're holding your frame when you speak to them. Like, say you have an opinion and they have a differing opinion, you don't just fold to their opinion, you keep your opinion, and you are confident in what you're saying, confident in that's what you think, and that's fine, right? And girls, and not just girls, humans respect this, right? They respect you holding your frame, sticking to you, doing what you like and who you are. And this is especially true if women are giving you attention. It's so important to keep your frame, keep who you are, and keep that core identity that you have within yourself, right? Because nobody likes someone who is a chameleon, who just like changes who they are because you're someone different. And I feel like you can spot that a mile away. And if I can spot that a mile away in you, then a girl probably can as well, bro. So keep that in mind. It's also so important to be interesting and have hobbies that are interesting. So I don't just mean sitting in your room fucking gooning all day. What I mean by that is an instrument or learning a language or something like that. Do something or learn something, a skill that makes you interesting to other people. And I'm not saying you should just do it for them, but if you have any hobbies, then speak about them, right? You also need good body language. You need to make eye contact, stand up straight, all that shit. You already know all that, but I can't. Just because you know it might not mean that you're doing it, right? And I can't express how important that stuff is. So if you do all that, what I've just said, you move with aura, you stay confident in who you are, and you speak confidently to other people, and you learn how to chat, you learn how to make jokes, how to talk to people, how to have banter, then honestly, you're winning with like 80% of girls already, no matter how you look. Because I've seen some pretty clapped individuals have success with women just based on their personality, their charisma, and how they are as a person. So that is the inside section. Outside is split into 4 subsections, right? And I'm not saying you have to get a hammer and pull a clavicular and bone smash or any of that bollocks, right? But it's 4 simple subsections that everyone should be doing already. But sometimes in life, like, nobody's born knowing how to do this stuff, so they need somebody to tell them. And brother, I am that person for you. So the first one's body. Body is, when I say body, you don't even have to, I'm not saying you have to go out and be the most shredded person on earth. In fact, you don't have to be shredded at all. Girls don't even like that. But you need to be in shape. Not just for girls, but also for you. But girls like a lean, but not too lean. Not 1% body fat where you can see all your veins through your skin. Or maybe, yeah, not 1%, like 12% body fat, 12 to 15% body fat, muscular, aesthetic physique, and that's what you need to go out and build, bro. you need to eat. If you're skinny or skinny fat, then do a healthy bulk where you're eating like 200 calories above your surplus, or above your maintenance, sorry, a 200 calorie surplus, or maybe 400, 500 calories surplus, and hit the gym 5 days a week. And then when you get to a point where you're muscular, and you're happy with that, then you cut. Vice versa, if you're a larger individual, and you're starting a bit fat, then eat. I'd say eat maintenance, up your protein though, and start going to the gym 5 days a week, and then you can do a body recomposition, which is where you lose fat, by eating like a 200 calorie deficit, doing steady zone 2 cardio, keep going to the gym, keep eating your protein, and you'll lose fat but also build muscle. So that's essential. What section were we on? Sorry, I'm checking my notes. I'm breaking the fourth wall here. I'm checking my notes. Yeah, the next section is face. So again, not bone smashing, none of that shit. But the first part is facial hair. So facial hair, you come into two sections. You can either grow it or you can't, right? If you can grow it, grow it. Because I think like having a good strong beard or even goatee can add a dimension to your face, and it can also, like, you've probably heard that phrase where people online say having a beard is like makeup for guys, right? And it's so true. It is like having makeup for guys, because it can cover areas of your face that might not, I can't really think of the word, but that just might, like, you can improve areas of your face basically, by having a beard. So if you can grow it, then grow it. But if you can't grow it, don't try and grow it. And right now if you can grow it or not. If you have like bum fluff, which is like the most patchy, like long stringy strands of beard hair, don't and your beard doesn't connect or at all, then don't try and grow facial hair, because you see so many people between ages 16 to 30 who can't grow facial hair, who think, no, I'll try and have a beard because other people have beards, but they can't grow facial hair. And quite often, if you can't grow facial hair by the time you're like 25, 30, then like you're never going to be able to. So just go clean shaven, because it looks 10 times better. Nobody wants to be looking at that wispy shit on your chin. So yeah, shave that off. The next section is acne. So when it comes to acne, to get rid of acne for most people over the age of like 18, obviously I know before 18 you're going through puberty or whatever, and it's hard to get rid of acne. I had acne quite badly when I was like 14, 15, but after the age of 18 and your hormones have like balanced out a bit, then to get rid of acne, it's so simple. You eat clean, you drink like 4 litres of water a day, and you have a skincare routine where you use a face wash and then you moisturise after. It's that simple. I guarantee that if you do all those things I've just listed for 2 weeks, if you have acne, it'll go, or at least 80% of it'll go. So yeah, if you have acne, then tackle that. If not, if you don't have acne, you should still moisturize your face, because it just makes you look better. As well as the fact that you should use sun cream, because what was I saying? Sorry, I'm breaking the fourth wall again. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, you should use sun cream on your face, 50 SPF sun cream. I live in England and we get about not even 4 weeks of sun every year, but you see those pictures online of people who use sun cream their whole life, on like the face and the neck, but nowhere else on the body, and they get to about 80-year-old and their face and neck where they've used the sun cream are like spotless in terms of wrinkles, and everywhere else in the body's like loose skin, because it's so important for helping you age gracefully. So yeah, use sun cream at least on your face, if not everywhere, because the sun is still in the sky, even if it's not sunny, quote unquote, right? The next section might not apply to you, but it probably does actually. So the next section is glasses that suit your face shape. And now I know not everybody needs glasses, but in the summer, I bet every one of you wears sunglasses. So it's so important to fit glasses that suit your face shape, because if you've got a big fat face and you're wearing little Harry Potter style circular shades, then it's just not going to look good. You need to have a research and see what face shape you are. There's like pictures that you can look at, and then look in the mirror and see, right, okay, I'm a square face shape, I'm an oval face shape, or whatever, and that's just the way your bone structure is. So that's not something that can be changed. That's who you are. It's like the color of your hair, right? And then pick glasses, the frame of glasses that suit your face shape, because if you wear glasses that don't suit your face shape, it can just make you look 10 times worse, right? The next section is hair. So the next subsection is hair, I should say. And this is pretty simple, but just pick a haircut that suits your face shape and looks good, right? And again, like what I just said there, look at your face shape on in the mirror, and use pictures off Google to like cross analyze it, I should say, as if you like see it in CSI or something. Cross analyze it, and if you have the hair and face shape for it, I would say go for the classic TikTok Jacob Elordi, Tom Holland style, because like Jay Cartwright says, the birds love it. But if not, then just go on TikTok and type in best hairstyles for my face shape, for square face shape or whatever face shape you are, and pick one that you like and go for it, and then maintain it as well. Get a haircut every 2 weeks or something. And finally, for the outside is clothes. So I'm just going to fire through this pretty quickly because it's self-explanatory. Assuming you don't want to spend much money on clothes. If you don't want to spend much money on clothes, then just don't wear graphic t-shirts. Just wear simple white or black t-shirts that fit well, that keep them clean. Don't stink in them. Don't have them creased. Use an iron. Learn how to use an iron if you can't iron, because like, do I even need to say why? If I do, then Google crease versus non-crease clothes, and you'll see why. Because people who wear crease clothes, it looks terrible, brother. If you do want to go out and buy clothes, look on TikTok for inspiration of like possible styles, or think of like a celebrity you might like how they dress, and then go on Pinterest and build like a board of some outfits, and then buy them. But keep in mind for this that your body shape, like something that looks good on someone built like Michael B. Jordan will not look good on someone built like Shaquille O'Neal, for example. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, that's it. That's everything, bro. If you can do all that, if you maintain your outside appearance as well as learn the skills to have the inside that I just mentioned before, the aura, the confidence, and the chat, then there's no reason why you can't be successful with girls. It's getting girls is a bit like sales as well. It's a bit like luck, right? Sometimes no matter how good you look, how much you're getting on with them, if they've got a boyfriend or they're not in the right headspace, then you're not going to have any success with them. That's fine. Just move on to the next one. Don't be one of those like Reddit nice guys who tries to keep pushing their luck even though the girl's not interested. Just move on. That's fine. And like sales, eventually you'll keep trying and one will fall for it, and fall for you, I should say, and that's what you want. Remember, all of this is to generally improve you, but at your core, you need to stick to who you are, because first, if you're trying to be someone you're not just to get girls, then firstly, bro, that's so gay, right? That's just sad. But secondly, if you try to be someone you're not, girls can see right through it. It's so important that you improve yourself, but you keep your core identity, bro, because you're sick, right? I hope that helped you. I love you loads. Thanks for watching. Peace. See you in the next one.